I like this one because they give you time, but they're not using the actual time. They're using the amount of time that is changed between each. So from 9:15 to 9:30, that's 15 minutes. From 9:30 to 9:45, that's another 15 minutes. And again, we're talking about a total number of ounces. So if after 15 minutes, or let's say at 9:15, he had picked 30, 15 minutes later, he's up to 60. That means every 15 minutes, he's picking 30 more, because 30 to 60 is plus 30, and then we have plus 30 again at another 15 minutes. So 15 minutes passed, 15 minutes passed, and he's getting 30 each time. So we're looking for the one that has a relationship between the 15 and the 30. Now I know 15 is half of 30, and 30 is 15 times 2. So blueberries, 30, would be 2 times the number of minutes. So if you did 15 minutes, multiply that by 2, you'll get how many blueberries, right? 30m would not be correct, because that would be 30 minutes, or 30 times the number of minutes, so 15 times 30, which does not equal how many blueberries. The 15, here we have the minutes, so this would be 15 equals 2 times 30. That's not true, that would be 60. And this would be 15 equals 30 times 30, which would definitely not be correct. So again, we want to look at the graph, and since n represents, as it says up here, the hours worked per day. So this is, he worked 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, and at 8 hours, he did not have any hours at his other job, and that would make sense, because you only work like 8 hours a day, or unless you're a teacher, in which case you work 20 hours a day. So at 8 hours at this job, he's not working any hours at this job, but when he's at 8 hours of this job, he's not at any hours of this job, and that makes sense. So if he works 4 hours at job 1, he's going to work 4 hours at job 2. So no matter what, we're adding up to 8, right? 6 and 2 is 8, 2 and 6 is 8, 4 and 4 is 8, etc. So which equation represents that? This would say that job 1, so let's say 8, okay, would equal 8 times the 0. Well, that's not true, because that would be 0. 8 times 0 is 0, so this one can't be right. This says, again, let's stick with 8, equals negative 8 times that. Well, negative 8 times 0 would still be 0, so that's not correct. This one, let's go with 8, would be D, so 0 minus 8. Well, that would give me an answer of negative 8, and that is not correct. Now, here we go. This one says 8 hours at this job, which would be 8 minus the number of hours he worked at this job, and that is correct. Because 8 minus 0 is 8. Now let's plug the 6 in. All right, so he worked 6 hours at this job. That would mean he worked 8 minus the 2, right, at this, and 8 minus 2 is 6. So it works out in every situation along the line. Now keep in mind, you can usually use calculators, but I like to show out my work. So at 15% of a meal being $3, to go backwards, we'd have to divide, right? So the cost of the meal, and if you multiply that by 15%, or 0.15, okay, 1500ths, you would get the $3 of the tip. So to get rid of that, just to show that you are dividing to go backwards, to get rid of times 15, I divide by 15, and that's 0.15, sorry, 15%. And that means I need to do $3 divided by 15%, and I will get back to my cost. So I put the $3 in here, and then the .15 or 0.15 or 1500ths or 15%. And to divide this easily, I can move my decimal over twice, which means I have to move this over twice. So my new problem becomes 300 divided by 15. And as you work through that, you get to 20. So the cost is $20. And if you multiply 20 times 0.15, you will get 3. And there is your answer. So he was wrong, I was right. Now this one really comes down to how well you read. How well you read and break things down. Because 180 calories is only what are burned in half an hour. That's only 30 minutes. Which means at 1 hour would be 2 sets of 30 minutes, and 2 times 180 is 360. So he is burning 360 calories an hour. So the only one that shows that, okay, this is not, if I had 2 hours, it'd be double 360. Double 360 is 720. So it can't be this one, can't be this one, can't be this one, right? This is 1 hour. 360 would be 1 hour. This is 2. Here it is, 2 hours at 720, and then if I take 360 times 4, I get 1440. If I take 360 times 6, I get 2,160. And if I take 360 times 8, I get 2,880. So this is our correct table. All right, when I saw this one right away, I went back to my knowledge of ratios, And so I'm looking at how the 50 relates to 5, 100 to 10, 150 to 15, and I see that 5 is a tenth of 50, or times 10 would give me 50, so he is making $10 an hour, and that's Josh. So I put that down, and I write it somewhere I can see. And then Patrick, 3 is related to 45 with times 15, just as 6 times 15 is 90, 9 times 15 is 135. So he's making $15 an hour. So Patrick, 15, Josh, 10. So I wrote that here. Josh was 10, Patrick was 15, and I'm looking for the true statement that compares their salary. So if Josh's income is 10/9, Patrick's income, well, since Josh is 10, he would have to have 9. And that's not true. First of all, Josh doesn't make more than him, and this is bigger than 1, so not correct. The second statement says that Patrick's is 3/5, so that Patrick's is smaller than Josh's, because this is less than a whole. Well, Patrick is not smaller than Josh, so again, not correct. Josh's income is 5/27, so this one is definitely smaller, but this is way less than half. 5/10 is half, okay? And he's not half of Patrick, because this would have to be 20. 10 to 20 would be half. So this one can't be true. And that leaves me with only Patrick's income is 3/2 times more. So Patrick's is bigger than Josh's. So far, so good. And is 15 to 10 the same as 3 to 2? So if you put 15 to 10, now I did it over here right away to see, I simplified the 10 to 15 and got 2 to 3. But if I flip these, right, if I do Patrick on top and Josh on the bottom, that means Patrick had the 3, Josh had the 2, right? And that would be the same as Patrick having the 15 and Josh having the 10. So this is divided by 5 is how I simplified it. And I see that, yes, 3/2 is the correct ratio. I don't know what it is about geometry, but I love it because I like to build things. I like to use wood and create wonderful pieces of things, furniture. So I like drawing things in, making models, and that makes this sort of thing a lot easier. Plus, knowing how to divide and multiply fractions helps in this case. So the rectangle has a length of 5/3, so that's already in, which means this is also 5/3, and therefore the width would be what's left of the area. Now the area is width times length. So we already have the length, so length times width equals 11/3. Well, to get rid of 5/3 over here, I would therefore have to divide it from 11/3 because it's a multiplication over here. So to divide it, I would get nothing left with the W there because it's multiplication, and anything times 1 is itself. So 11/3 divided by 5/3, I would rewrite by multiplying the reciprocal. So I swap the 5 and the 3, and I can switch division to multiplication. So keep, change, flip. Keep, change, flip. 11 times 3 is 33. 3 times 5 is 15. So that's 33/15, which I know 15 times 2 is 30. So I can pull out 30 of them and give 2 wholes, and that leaves me 3/15. And of course that can be simplified to 1/5. Now if you notice over here, they don't have mixed numbers. So it can't be 5/11 because that's not more than 1. It can't be 3/6 because that's not more than 1. It could be 6/3 because that is more than 1. However, that would just be 2. There would be no leftover 1/5. So that's not correct. And 11/5, if I do the math, all right, how many 5s go into 11? 2. How many fifths are left? 1. And that is my correct answer. So this question needs you to understand how to find the area of rectangles as well as find the area of a triangle. So a triangle's area is base times height divided by 2. So we know the base is 5. We know the height is 7 because of the opposite rules of a square and of the 12 minus 7. If this continued up and made another big rectangle or square right here, this would be 12 across minus the 7, leaving me the 5 on the base. So I do 5 times 7, which is 35, and then I divide that by 2, and I get 17.5. So the area of this is not the marking of this side. This is the area of this triangle, is 17.5. Now 7 times 7 is 49, and 6 times 12 is 72. So I add 72, 49, and 17.5. I get 138.5, and that is in centimeters squared, and there is my answer. Now again, this is about reading carefully. All right, we have this square piece of paper with a perimeter of 144 inches. So if this plus this plus this plus this equals 144, I can figure out the length of each side, since there's 4 of them, by taking 144 divided by 4. And I get 36. So each side is 36 inches long. Now, these are all equal squares, and I have 6 of them. So that means that each square has a length of 6 inches, and that would give me the 36 inches right here. So 6 times 6 is 36, which means these are all 6, and these are all 6, and these are all 6, so 36, 36, 36. That means that every full square is a 6 by 6. So 36, 36, 36, 36, 36, 36, 36, 36. So I have 8 36s, okay? And I think I showed, I'm not sure where I showed that over here. But then I have a half and a half, which equals 1, so that's 9. A half and a half, that's 10. Half and a half, that's 11. Half and a half, that's 12. So I have 12 sets of 36, and that's what this is over here. And when I multiply that, I'm going to get 432 as my total area of all the black filled in areas, 432 square inches. And again, these are fun geometrical, trying to visualize and see. If I were to, in my mind, what I do is I kind of cut this, and then I pull it back and I lay it flat, and then this side I pull it back and lay it flat. And that's how they get these pictures, okay? So if you look at this one, right, this is 5 centimeters, and they flip it up to be, would go right here, and then this is also 5, flip it up. The 8 would represent this, and then they've got the 3 here and the 4 here. So the problem with that is, with this being 4 and this being 5, if I flipped this over, I'd have a centimeter hangover. Same thing with here. I'd have 2 centimeters hanging over if I flipped this up and then this up to it. That would give me a 2 centimeter hangover with that 5 and the 3. Over here, I would have a 1 centimeter hangover, and here a 1 centimeter hangover from this. Over here, this is backwards as well. I wouldn't have any hangover on this part, but I would have a 1 centimeter hangover here. This one is the only one that has the 3 and the 3, so these two, when this is folded up, would meet perfectly. This is 4 and this is 4, so when this folds up and this folds up, they would meet perfectly. So you can see these two, when folded along this axis, would meet equally. These two would fold along this axis, meet equally. These are obviously opposites, so the same. This is the 5 that represents that, and this is the 8 that represents that. So that is my correct answer.